How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse, and today we are going to be taking a look at the adidas Adizero Prime X. That's right, we finally have the Prime X here at Running Warehouse. This is a shoe that I've been waiting for a while. It officially released about a year ago, but it's been almost impossible to get your hands on a pair because it was released in such limited quantities. Now we finally have it. It's a massively cushioned shoe, very crazy design. We're gonna take a full deep dive into the shoe, see what it's all about. So the first thing that we of course have to talk about is gonna be the massively cushioned midsole design. We've got full length lightstrike foam. It's the same foam we saw in the Adios Pro 2, offers that ultra responsive and soft underfoot feel, but we've got even more of it underfoot. Of course, 50 millimeters in the heel, so it's going to be the most cushioned Adidas shoe to date, and then 41.5 mils in the forefoot for an 8.5 mil heel to toe drop. Really a lot of cushioning underfoot that is unlike anything that I've ever tried. We've got that Lightstrike Pro compound that is going to be a super foam that's right in line with a lot of the competition, and of course with a super foam we're going to have embedded plate or rod system in the Adidas case that is going to help create an even more propulsive design. So if we take a look down at the outsole, you're going to see that energy rod system peeking out. We saw that in the Adios Pro 2, and Adidas tends to go with the energy rod design because it's a little bit more flexible. You still get that torsional rigidity, but just makes it a little bit more adaptive. And different in the Prime X, we've got the energy rod system that is going to work with a carbon blade system. So there's technically going to be two propulsion systems that work together in this massively cushioned midsole to create the most bouncy experience possible. Now, this carbon plate setup and the large stack height are technically going to be considered an illegal shoe if you are a pro elite marathon runner, if you're competing in a world marathon championship, if you're part of the 1% of the 1% of the 1% competing for massive money, you are going to be limited to a shoe with a 40 millimeter stack height and one carbon plate. But for the masses, people like you and me, the Prime X is going to be an amazing option that really does feel amazing underfoot. Speaking of underfoot, we're going to take a look at the outsole. We've got a fairly similar design to the Adios Pro 2, but we've got even more Continental rubber. Continental rubber surrounds this shoe. We've got plenty in the forefoot. We've got plenty in the heel. We've got a little bit of exposed Lightstrike Pro in the midfoot to keep weight down. And then of course, very similar to the Adios Pro 2, we've got this midfoot cutout. Again, this is just going to further reduce weight while still maintaining a very cushioned on-foot experience. Continuing onto the upper, this is really what's going to bring this shoe all together. Now we've got a Cellar Mesh 2.0 design. This is very similar to a lot of the other race product in the Adizero line. We've got a minimal heel counter, a very minimal tongue. It's stripped down to the bare essentials. We've got that ultra breathable forefoot, and then in the midfoot, we've got this internal overlay system that's going to add a little bit of extra support while also still keeping this shoe as light as possible. This is a race day shoe, and it's built for it. So we gave you the breakdown on the Adidas Adizero Prime X. Now the real question is, should you add this shoe to your racing or training lineup? Now, I've personally started to get some miles on this shoe, and I really like it. It is pretty much different than any other shoe on the market. Really, it comes down to the stack height. If you're a fan of cushioning, if you like that super shoe feel, but maybe want even a little bit more, want a little bit more bounce, want a little bit more of a soft cushion feel, you like that protection, maybe you don't mind having a little bit extra weight, because that is going to be one of the main drawbacks to this compared to maybe the Adios Pro 2. This shoe is going to come in around 9 ounces, so a little bit more foam means a little bit more weight, but for me, I feel like the responsiveness outweighs it, and I personally actually like this shoe a little bit more than the Adios Pro 2. Now, one thing I noticed with the Adios Pro 2, and I still maybe even notice a little bit more with the Prime X, is the stability. These shoes are not stable, and with the Prime X being so high, you got this midsole cutout in the midfoot. I just feel like the shoe isn't very stable, especially when you're going around turns. It took me actually about a mile or two in this shoe to actually get the right feel. I was almost finding myself thinking while I was running, trying to make sure I was running properly and running efficiently. But once I got the hang of this shoe, it just felt so great. I think for half marathon or marathon, potentially some long runs, some steady efforts where I'm looking to go tempo pace for over 10 miles, I think the Prime X is going to fit really well into my training and racing lineup. If you like cushioning, you like responsiveness, you like super shoes, you want to go to the next level, I would definitely recommend the Adidas Adizero Prime X. If you're looking to get this shoe on your feet, it'll be available on December 15th. You can find it here at Running Warehouse.